We are live.
Hi, Mark.
I still got to see that movie, The Room. I haven't seen it.
I love it. It's probably my biggest guilty pleasure.
Please,
it's such
do it for the podcast. I would love it if you would watch it and then review it for the podcast. That'd be great.
The thing is, I'm definitely going to see it because I'm so looking forward to The Disaster Artist. So I'm going to see The Room.
Yeah.
I have to see that before I see The Disaster Artist. So.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the MTVM Podcast. What this podcast is a topic of movies, television, video games, and music. All four of these topics will be talked about in each episode on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and tonight is the first episode. And joining me is Andrew Hayes and FilmFan0599. They're both going to be the co-host of the show as well, so every Thursday you'll be seeing us three talking about entertainment. So I decided to come up with this idea one day because, you know, I like doing the top fives on my podcast. I've been doing that since the end of April, but I wanted to do something else, you know, help grow my channel. And I just wanted to talk about other stuff than just movies. So would you guys like to introduce yourselves? Because we might have new guests today for, you know, for the new episode tonight. So.
Hey, what's up, you guys? FilmFan0599 here again. And yeah, this is the very first episode of the MTVM podcast. This is going to be very interesting. Obviously, I've been on podcasts before, but I've never been a co-host for a podcast before. So this should be really interesting. I'm very excited about this. I literally, this was like the thing I was hyped for the most all week. Like, I was really excited for this. I couldn't wait to do it. And we're finally here. So here we go. Let's just jump straight into it. But first, Andrew's got to introduce himself.
Yeah. My name is Andrew Hayes. A huge fan of movies, but I also love all things entertainment. No, I'm very passionate about music and television and video games as well. So I'm glad to be talking about it.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be a good episode. I think we do have several topics. So this is how the format's gonna work for each episode. The first section that we're going to do is the one we have the least topics. And the one we have the most topics for will be the last section. So tonight, the first section we're going to go over is video games because that's the least topics we have. And the most topics we have is movies. So the last section we'll be talking about is movies. So with that being said, we already did our introductions. And I'll say hello to people in the live chat. The live chat is actually pretty active. Danny Russman, hey, what's up? Sammy's online. I'm going to probably mispronounce this guy's name. Alburn Wanderer.
Alburn Wanderer, that's my boy, Caden.
Oh, Caden. Oh, what's up, man? Thanks for watching. And MC Deadpool. It says, look at MC Deadpool.
Booty,
the lyrics for Miss New Booty.
Yes, that is amazing.
And Justin Williams. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's first episode of the MTVM podcast. All right, so with that being said, let's get started. So, like I said, the first section we're going to be going over is video games. Now, let me just say this, all right, because I just got to get this out of the way. I don't own a video game console, so this is the one topic where I won't be contributing that much. So, but I know these two gentlemen are really into video games, and they both have topics. So, what I'll do instead of just keeping quiet is I'll try to, you know, ask them some questions about video games or contribute, like, some ideas I have, because I have played video games before in the past. So, we'll see how it works out. So with that being said, Double Nine, I think you have lesser topics than Andrew. I think Andrew has more video game topics than you do. So do you want to go first, Double Nine?
Okay. Sure, I'll go first. The first one I want to talk about is the newest trailer that we got for the Spider-Man video game that's coming out next year. Now, this trailer was released, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday, I believe. And, you know, because PlayStation's doing their PlayStation event in Paris, I believe. And this was one of the many, many things they showed. And it was by far the best thing that they showed. They also showed Last of Us 2, but I don't know. That trailer just underwhelmed me for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm still looking forward to that game regardless because I love the first one so much. But with Spider-Man, this just looks fantastic. This honestly could be the best Spider-Man game we have ever gotten. I love that we're taking its own story with it. You know what I mean? Like, Peter's always fully adjusted as Spider-Man. Mary Jane actually knows that, Peter is Spider-Man, which I really like about that, actually. I like that's not a secret. She actually knows that he's Spider-Man in the video game, which that should be cool. Kingpin is supposed to be play as a big villain in that, which also should be cool, as well as Shocker from what I saw in the trailer. And the gameplay looks outstanding. This is like some Batman Arkham type of like gameplay. If you've ever seen the gameplay for the Batman Arkham games, this is exactly what this looks like. And I love that it's taking inspiration from those games, because it really worked for those games, and it seems like it's going to work for the Spider-Man game as well. And I'm really invested to see where they go with the story, because Miles Morales, who is the other Spider-Man, is also in this game. So, okay,
that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
and he's also he's best friends with Peter, which it seems like by the trailer, he's very good friends with Peter. So I'm very interested to see, will we actually get to play as Miles Morales? Is he already like a Spider-Man? We don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see when it comes to the actual video game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good episode, I think.
And, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, this is being made by Insomniac Games. If you don't know who Insomniac Games is, they've made like Ratchet and Clank. Those are the games I'm most known well for them. So the fact that these guys are making a Spider-Man game, I'm down for it. I can't wait to see what they do. And honestly, I really do think this could be the best Spider-Man game we've ever gotten, just by the looks of this trailer. Man, and just the game, one more thing, the game just looks gorgeous. I love how this game looks. It's like they're really embodying this world. I can't wait to play it. I'm getting it day one. I don't care. I'll pre-order it, get it at midnight. Like, I'm that excited for the game.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this, despite the fact that I don't own a system, but I saw the trailer, and I gotta say, the graphics are phenomenal. Like, it kind of looks like a live-action Spider-Man game, because the visual effects are just so top-notch. Now, you said this is like Batman Arkham Asylum, so that means it's a third-person game, right? It's not like a first-person.
Yes, third person, very, kind of somewhat beat 'em up as well.
Okay, all right.
Yep. That's what's kind of like it is. It's kind of like beat 'em up type of stuff, but it's really cool. The Arkham games have really interesting stories to them, and it seems like this one's gonna have an interesting story too. So I'm very excited to see where they go with that.
Okay. And, there are people who also express interest in that game, too. Sammy seems really excited for it. Says, cannot wait for the Spider-Man game, especially since it's a Spider-Man game and it's done by Insomniac Games. And Tevye, in a live chat. What's up? And he said the same thing. He can't wait for Spider-Man as well. So it looks like this game is being anticipated by a lot of people, especially Spider-Man fans. So.
Oh yeah, and I'm such a huge Spider-Man fan, so this just makes me happy. This just looks like everything I wanted out of a Spider-Man game.
And when is the release date? Do you know?
They only said 2018. We don't know the exact release date, but we know for a fact it's coming out next year.
All right, so for those who are looking forward to the game and those who are planning on getting the game, whenever they announce the actual release date, just mark your calendars, because you guys will be all at the midnight premiere. I bet. Just getting the game and stuff. All right, Double Nine. If you don't have anything else to add on that, you can go on to your next topic.
My next topic, I only had two, and this was my second one. And I guess Andrew can join me on this, because I believe this was one of his topics too, and that's a review of a certain game that came out. Well, if you got the deluxe edition, it came out like 3 weeks ago now, and that is WWE 2K18.
All right.
As you all know, I do like wrestling. Wrestling is a thing that I do enjoy very much. And the one thing I think I love the most is playing the wrestling games. Because I do love playing the wrestling games. They are very fun to play, and they're really just great. As me as a wrestling fan, they are great to play as some of your favorite superstars, some of your favorite match types and stuff like that. But also another great thing is that you get to create your own stuff. Superstar, arena, championships. You can basically make your own company if you want to. And with WWE 2K18, it definitely is a great entry into the WWE series. Because 2K17, although it wasn't terrible, I didn't hate the game, it could have been a lot better, considering also how great 2K16 was. It was kind of a downgrade, I guess you could say. I mean, even visually, it looked all right. Like, I felt like also the graphics were kind of somewhat of a downgrade, but everything is, like, improved in this one, which I love. The gameplay is at its best, honestly. This is probably the best gameplay we've ever had for a WWE game. Even though I love the arcade style more, like the arcade style, like much more fast paced, I do like the much more realistic approach that 2K want to go to for these games. And it really works. Like, it makes you really feel like you're actually playing a match, like a WWE match, and it's very technical and all that. And it's great. I really like it a lot. Visually, it looks fantastic. I think this is definitely also the best looking WWE game we've gotten. It definitely has some great graphics. The wrestlers look outstanding. The fact that they were able to put in 200 superstars on disc, like like on the actual disc, no DLC, no nothing, is quite impressive. Like, they were able to put 200 wrestlers on disc. That is very, very impressive. I give 2K major props for that. The match types, I love going through them, and they're very great to play, especially playing like Elimination Chamber. That's always some of my favorites. Royal Rumble is probably the most fun match you could play on any of the games. It's great. And, my career is probably the only issue I really have with the game. I really don't get invested with it all that much. It's kind of boring to play through. I just wish they would bring back like Road to WrestleMania, or heck, even season mode. That was even much better than kind of my career. It's just like, I like those game modes better, like the Road to WrestleManias or the 2K Showcase like they did before. Those were great. But yeah, my career just isn't working. I think they should just kind of scrap it because it's not really all that interesting. Also, Universe Mode, which is my favorite mode in any of the WWE games as of late. Basically, like I said, you get to create your own shows, create your own arenas and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. Like, it's your own WWE. You get to make the matches, you get to make the booking decisions, you get to make everything, and it's great. I really love it. Just for shits and giggles, like, I'll play through it. Like, I'll be like, ladies and gentlemen, like, I'll be a commentator, everything. Like, while I'm playing the match, I'll commentate and crap like that. It just makes me feel like I'm actually there in WWE and stuff like that. So yeah, 2K18 is really fantastic. If you're a wrestling fan and you love wrestling games, pick it up. This is definitely something for you. I really enjoyed that a lot. It's such a great game to play. Still playing it, obviously. Definitely a much bigger improvement over 2K17. Loved it a lot. Probably on a letter grade, I would probably give it an A, but on like a number scale, I guess I would give it like a 9 out of 10.
Okay. And let me just read you one comment from the live chat. Danny Russman, I guess he had plays the game, and I want to read you this so I can hear what your response is. And Andrew, you can join in too, because I know you want to talk about the game as well. So Danny Russman says, the problem I have with WWE 2K18 is the cheer and boo settings. What do you guys have to respond to that?
What he means by that is because apparently there's a glitch where, like, if you switch like the cheer and boo, apparently it's a glitch and will still just be the default. If you switch to cheer, they'll still boo. I haven't had that problem actually, so I can't really comment on that, but this is literally like the first time I'm hearing about it.
Okay. And you have anything to say about that, Andrew?
No, I haven't had a problem with it either, so
Okay. All right. You can you have anything to say about that game, Andrew?
Yeah, I do. I actually think I agree with Double Nine. I think this is the best one we've got in a long time, because I think the last great WWE game we had was 2K14, and even though the graphics and the wrestling style is better, much better in this one, I liked it because I really enjoyed the size of the roster. There was a big variety of what wrestlers you could choose, and I just had a lot of fun with it. And with 2K15, it was the first ones on the new gen consoles, so they were completely changing everything up. The rosters were significantly smaller, and it's the first time they had my career mode, which I agree is a complete flop. I think they should bring back Road to WrestleMania, and the system was weird, but I can't fault it too much because they were trying something new. They were completely changing the game.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of disagree. I thought 2K. I didn't really enjoy 2K16 all that much because a big problem that I found with 15 and 16, and this, I don't know if Double Nine or anybody else experienced this, but in 16 I experienced a lot of bugs, and I would play and just stupid stuff would happen. Like this one time I was playing a match with my one friend, and I was Daniel Bryan and he was Triple H. I went running at him for the running knee, which is Daniel Bryan's finishing move, and I kept on pressing the Y and nothing happened. And it's stuff like that would just completely take me out of the match. And I felt like, they could have done a lot better job at fixing it. And I didn't, the roster was fine. And I just thought, kind of like what the overalls were kind of wonky too. And still the same thing with my career mode. It still wasn't all that good. 17, I think it has improved each year though. I thought 17 was a little bit better. I had a lot more fun. I thought the roster was better. I didn't really experience all that many bugs. And in 18, I think it's the best roster we've ever had and the best the graphics have ever been. And I think one interesting aspect is the Royal Rumble. They completely changed how the Royal Rumble works. And it was very confusing at first, and it was just weird. But once I got used to it, I mean, I had fun when I didn't really know what was going on. But now that I'm a little bit more used to it, I'm having a lot more fun with the Royal Rumble. I'm still kind of getting used to, how everything works because it is a little bit more realistic. I'm kind of not used to the reversal timings yet and whatnot, but I'm still having a lot of fun with the game.
All right. Now, in terms of, me playing wrestling games and all that kind of stuff, the last wrestling game I played was SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. So it's been a long time since, I played a new wrestling and all that kind of stuff. My favorite, personally, was 2007. I just love the gameplay for that, and the soundtrack of that game.
Yes,
excellent.
I do want to thank you for reminding me. I think the soundtrack in this is honestly very good.
I do too. I actually really like it a lot in this game too. Because
thank you for reminding me. I think a big problem with 15 and 16 were the soundtracks. Like the soundtracks were awful. In 15 and 14, what I really liked is you got to hear the wrestler themes, and at 15 you didn't get to hear that. You got to hear "We Them Boys" by Wes Khalifa, and it just there weren't that many songs, so you heard that song all the time, and I hate that song to begin with. So I heard it all the time. And I don't know, I forget if they brought it back in 16 or 17 where you could hear wrestling themes. But in 18, you have a mix of themes and, regular songs. Like actually, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson chose the soundtrack for this. And he did very well, I think, because you got a Kanye West song, which does really well, a Boston song, which I think works really well. You got a Blues Brothers song, and, NWA songs in there, just a bunch of different songs. And what I like is you could choose what songs you can have playing and whatnot. So if there's a song you don't particularly like, you could make it so it doesn't play. And you can also put in wrestler-themed songs to hear those. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Since the last game I played was 2008 and, 2007, that was the last time I, was playing those games. Do you think there's been a lot of changes, like, within the 10 years?
Yeah. There's been tons of changes.
Yeah, just the whole, like, just how, like, you do the moves and whatnot. And I sort of vaguely remember how they worked in 2007, 2008. And, if I were to play it right now, I probably honestly have a hard time because of how used to I am of the new system. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think the new system works a lot better.
Okay, so it's like they've improved over like
improved. It's improved, yes.
It was one of my favorite wrestling games, Day of Reckoning. That was.
I've never gotten to play that.
Personally, my favorite wrestling.
Fight the ref would fight back, and he would do like the Stone Cold Stunner on you. This thing.
What is it? I forget.
That soundtrack too. The soundtrack for that game was really good as well.
I think it's Day Reckoning 1 or 2 where there was this move called the Demon Neck Crank, and it looked like you put him in the.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it literally looked like you're breaking someone's neck. Like it was awful.
I used to piss off the refs so much. You do that shit to me all the time. I think you did like the rock bottom to me once.
My personal favorite wrestling game, not because that it's generally the best, it's just the ones I have the best memories playing is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Oh yeah,
that's one.
That one was a real good one. And what I liked about that is there was a story mode and you could do a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was always Shawn Michaels.
So do you guys have anything else to say about the WWE 2K18?
No. Thank you.
No, I'm good.
Got all my thoughts.
And that's done with your topics, right? Double 9 for video games?
Yep, that's my topics. Now, Andrew.
All right.
Andrew,
okay, the first one I'm going to talk about is probably the one I have the least to say about, and that's Cuphead. Now, Cuphead is sort of I would say it has a big arcade feel to it. It's sort of works how arcade. It's like an arcade shooter game, and basically what it's I guess the general plot of what it's about is these two brothers, Cuphead and not Jughead, that's Riverdale. Cuphead and Mughead go to this casino, and they're doing really, really well. And then they run into the owner of the casino, which is none other than Satan himself. And they're doing so well that they think they could beat Satan in a bet, and they bet their souls for it, and they end up losing because, it's Satan. And they got to get out of it somehow. So the only way they got to get out of it is collect the souls of all the other people that owe their souls to Satan. So basically, there's it's basically boss fight after boss fight after boss fight, and it's a very, very fun game, but it's also very, very difficult. Like,
the premise sounds like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, it's a very fun game, and that's the big thing. And I have not beat the game yet because it's so hard, to be honest. Like all the boss fights are like big, huge creatures. Like one of the boss fights that I've done is 2 frogs, and you got to fight them, and a giant carrot. You got to fight all these different cartoonish, different like people, and it's very hard because honestly, there's a certain way you got to do to defeat them, and their attacks. So it's one of those games where the more you're gonna lose a lot, like you're gonna die a lot, but the more you die, the more you learn, and it will get frustrating at times. But once you beat the person, finally, it's so rewarding. It's honestly a lot of fun. Like I said, I haven't beat it yet, but it is a very fun game. I would give this, as of right now, probably a 9 out of 10.
Wait, what was your rating? I'm sorry.
9 out of 10.
Okay.
And that's all.
Tevia seems to be the only one who has played Cuphead in a live chat. It seems he seems to have liked the game, and yeah.
Yeah, I know which one I know which one he's talking about with the moon. Yeah, that one was interesting. I was honestly surprised when it did turn into the moon. But it kind of threw me off, and I died immediately. But
and that game is for Xbox?
Xbox, yes, I have it for Xbox.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, that's all I got to say for that one. The next one is a game that's been out for a while, and that is Overwatch. It's honestly probably the game for honestly the past year I've played the most, and honestly it's been probably my favorite game in recent memory. Overwatch is strictly multiplayer. There's no single player. There's no story mode. It's strictly multiplayer, and it's made by Blizzard, which made World of Warcraft and I believe Team Fortress 2. And the best way to describe it is pretty much Call of Duty mixed with Team Fortress 2. It's very, very cartoonish, I guess you could say. It's honestly not realistic at all, but that's what's so great about it. There are 26 or 27 different characters to choose from, and each of them have their own different ways of playing and different abilities and whatnot, and each has an ultimate, which each has the different purposes. And like I said, what I really like about this game is that I love it. It has very good attention to detail, and each character has a backstory. So like they have comics and short films for each character, which is really nice. And I also really like is they keep on adding stuff. Like since I've been playing, they've added 3 new characters to the game, which is nice. And they're always adding different skins and different voice lines in this, and so many cool things you can unlock from loot boxes, which you obtain from leveling up. And just now they ended the Halloween event, which like every for big, I guess, like for Halloween, Christmas, I know the Chinese New Year, they have a special event where you could attain special boxes to obtain special things for it, and you can only get it through those boxes, which is very nice. And but what I really like about it is that it's a team effort, and I was initially very hesitant on getting this game because I have played Call of Duty games in the past, and while I initially loved Call of Duty at first, I kind of grown out of them because I just found I just didn't like how the multiplayer I just didn't like, and I just saw myself playing zombies, which I still love to this day, but I just feel like that it just wasn't good enough. And what I really like about Overwatch is the team aspect. You got to work as a team. You can't just go in guns a-blazing because you will die. And each character, like there's each character is different, and each character has the purpose, like I said. And my personal favorite character is this character called Junkrat, and he's basically I guess to kind of tell you a little bit what he's about. He's from Australia. He's a pyromaniac from Australia, and he has one peg leg. And what basically he's a defensive character, and he shoots like these bombs. And like his purpose is he kind of like stays in the back or gets like high up and tries to get people that way, which is really nice. But honestly, I mean, yes, I could have my there are a couple problems with it, but it's not really the game's fault. But yeah, no, I love this game. It's my favorite game that I've played in a while.
All right, so Tevye asked a question. I guess you can answer this too, Double Nine, because I wouldn't know. But he says, any opinion on Evil Within 2? Because that game was great. Also, Blizzard made StarCraft and Diablo 2. Okay, so he's asking about Evil Within 2. You guys play that?
No, I haven't played the first one, so.
Okay, what about you?
I haven't played the first one either, but the sequel does look interesting, so I might want to play the first one.
Okay. All right, and have you guys ever played StarCraft or Diablo?
Nope.
No, I haven't, but I think they do have one Diablo skin for one of the characters, which is cool.
All right. Do you have any more topics, Andrew, for video games?
Yes, I got one more.
Okay.
And it's I want to talk about the new South Park game, The Fractured Butthole.
Which is like the most genius title of all time.
Yeah, and it's honestly very funny when they reveal like why it's called The Fractured Butthole. But just play it for yourself and find out for yourself. The Fractured Butthole is a sequel to a great South Park game, The Stick of Truth. And I was really looking forward to this because I love The Stick of Truth. And this game, while it's not as good as The Stick of Truth, I still very much enjoy it.
Yeah.
Basically, The Stick of Truth, if you guys don't know, it's basically a parody of pretty much Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. They pretend to be those type of characters, and they go on an adventure, and there's big war in South Park and whatnot. And this one, they're pretending to be superheroes. So, they make fun of all the superhero movies and whatnot. And well, I really enjoyed this game. I initially didn't like the initial fighting, like the combat system, because they're both games, they're turn-based. But in Stick of Truth, I thought it was a little bit better. And in this one, initially, I'd like it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it initially grew on me, and it was good, but I found it a little bit harder to do some of the fights in that one because of it. And honestly, if you love South Park, you're gonna love this game because like South Park, they make fun of everything, anything, and everything, and they do it like. There was honestly, there was one of the boss fights is of someone that is someone of real life, and I was honestly. It was hilarious when it came out, and his fighting style, like just what he does is hilarious, and I'm not going to spoil it because it was honestly so great, and I was taken by surprise. And I think the main antagonist is hilarious because it ends up being someone you don't expect, and when you find out who it is, you're like, wait a second, what is actually going on here? And, just the whole dynamic between the main antagonist and the rest of the group is hilarious. And there's this whole, I guess, kind of subplot where you kind of got to find the origin story of your hero, because every hero needs an origin story.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. And yeah, I thought it just in the Stick of Truth, I thought while this one is funny and good, I thought just in the Stick of Truth, it was a little bit more funnier. I thought the side quests were funnier. I thought some of the abilities were better and whatnot. And just some of the things you could do were better in the Stick of Truth. And, no, this game is good, and I didn't mind everything they changed about it. I just liked it just because I liked everything in the Stick of Truth better. I didn't really see a need to fix it. And,
okay.
I hope there's a third one because I really enjoyed both of them, and I would love a third one. So okay. I would honestly give this probably an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty high.
That's what I would give.
Okay.
It. Yeah.
All right, Double Nine. So let me ask you: the games Andrew talked about, like Cuphead, Overwatch, South Park games. Have you ever played any of that?
No, I've never played any of them, but I do have interest in. I never really wanted to give in to the hype of Overwatch, not because I thought it was bad, but recently I've wanted to try and play it. So,
yeah, okay. I felt the same way. I'm like, it's probably gonna be some stupid Call of Duty game I'm not good at, and honestly, I'm surprisingly good at it. But obviously, just what I've been trying to do recently is I've been trying to use different characters to get better at them, and surprisingly, there's a couple characters I've used, like, oh, wow, I'm actually good with them. But, I like it.
All right, so before we conclude the whole video game section, I'm just going to ask one question from the live chat, and that is from Tevia, once again. Any opinion on Wolfenstein New Colossus? Have you guys played that game?
No. I wanted to play the first one. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, sorry, Tevia. None of us have played it. All right, so that concludes the video game section. Now we're on to music. Now, I actually have a topic for this.
Yay!
So my topic, I believe this is the only topic I have for today, for music. But Andrew, I think this is the only topic Andrew has as well. And Double Nine, I know you said you wanted to join in for this one, so we're all talking.
Yes.
All right, so the topic that I have for music is one I'm pretty excited about, and that is Justin Timberlake will be performing at the Super Bowl in 2019 at the halfway show.
Halftime show.
Halftime show. 2018 at the halftime show. Not 19.
It shows how much I do not watch sports. All right. Well,
yes.
In any case, look, I'm really excited because even though I'm not a fan of football at all, I do watch Super Bowls mainly for 3 reasons: the commercials, the movie trailers, and the halftime show. And usually those 3 are great. Usually, not always, but the halftime show I'm really excited for because I'm a huge fan of Justin Timberlake. I think he's a fantastic artist. He's one of the most talented people on the planet, too. Not only can he sing, he can dance really well, and he can act really well. Yeah, the guy's very talented. He has a lot of talents, and I think he's an excellent performer, singer. So I can't wait to see what he does in the halftime show. I know there are a lot of people saying that, oh, he's probably going to sing Can't Stop the Feeling for like the 900th and 50th time or something. But honestly, okay, yes, I get that song has been played so many times on the radio, but that song is great. I love that song.
I don't care what anybody says. That song is great, okay?
I didn't hear anybody complaining when, Katy Perry was going to sing Roar for the 15th millionth time, or when what's-his-face was going to do Bruno Mars is going to do Uptown Funk for the billionth time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really think it's a great song. So
it is a good song.
MC Deadpool says, Diego, I didn't know you were performing at the halftime show. Oh, gee. You know why he said that? Because Jerome calls me the Hispanic Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
Yeah, so. Oh, well, yeah, MC Deadpool, I'll be performing there. You can watch me in whenever the Super Bowl is.
Yes.
And Sammy says, I like Can't Stop the Feeling as well. You're the man, Sammy. Thank you. I love that.
Yes, you're the man. You're the man.
Okay, I have not seen the movie Trolls. I know that song was in Trolls. But
it was made for Trolls.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, the song is awesome, and it's a very addicting.
Hey,
and Danny Russman says my favorite song from Justin Timberlake is "Sexy Back."
That's my second. That's my second favorite.
That's a really good one. I'm not sure if that's my number one favorite. I don't even know what my number one favorite is, but that's a really good one too.
I really like Mirrors. I hope he gets to play that at that show.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. I know that's another one. A lot of people were complaining that.
Honestly, want to know what's probably going to happen?
What?
NSYNC is probably going to they're going to probably try and get all the members of NSYNC to perform.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know how they always have like one special appearance by somebody, like Bruno Mars had the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Katy Perry for some reason had Missy Elliott of all people show up.
That was the most random thing on the planet because she was MIA for so many years, and all of a sudden like, hey, Missy Elliott. Oh yeah, you're alive.
But
I mean. Why Missy Elliott's trying to be relevant again is beyond me. But no, they're probably gonna have NSYNC show up because they didn't.
Well, I wouldn't mind if that's the case. I wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you? Hold on. MC Deadpool says Justin Timberlake should have been the bye-bye man.
That would have been. Listen, if he was the bye-bye man at the end of the film, that would have made the whole movie worth it. Okay, I wouldn't even care of how bad the movie was.
It'd be like my top 10 best movies of the year.
Dude, that was the best joke of all time.
Let's be honest. If the bye-bye man, was he even decent enough to be Justin Timberlake, it wouldn't have been as bad as it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like one of the worst movies of the year, hands down. But do you guys have anything else to say about the Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, for me, everyone knows I love Justin Timberlake. Everyone knows he's my favorite artist of all time. I love Justin Timberlake. He's incredible. His music means a lot to me. I love his music. I hope my favorite song by him is Summer Love. I hope he plays that at the halftime show. I really hope he does, because that would be great to hear during the halftime show. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I really hope he does a really good job. I'm pretty sure he will, but I hope he does a great job. I can't wait to see this halftime show. I'm still waiting for the day that Metallica plays at the halftime show. That's still the one I want to see the most out of anything, but hopefully that will happen someday. But Justin Timberlake, I can't wait for it.
No, 99. Muse needs to play at the halftime show.
If that happened,
has Pink Floyd played at the halftime show?
Not that I know. Have they? Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
They are a band that should.
Yeah.
Dude, but imagine, dude, if Muse played at the halftime show, that would be phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I would literally be watching the whole Super Bowl just to wait for that halftime show. I was like, I don't even care.
Yes.
MC Deadpool says, my favorite song by Justin Timberlake was Dick in a Box featuring Andy Samberg.
Yes! that one was
funny. Yes. Fuck it. Why not have Lonely Island play a halftime show? They're a great band.
That would be the funniest halftime show of all time.
And
have Michael Bolton show up.
MC Deadpool says Green Day should perform.
I would love that.
There should be a lot of people that I'm sure we can think off the top of our heads that should perform.
We should do that as a list one day.
I know that last year Adele was offered to perform, but she declined it.
Oh,
because she said she declined it because she's not like she's not like she feels like the super talent like should be involved with like a lot of dancing and stuff like that. And she goes, I'm not really like that's not me. I'm like not really that. So it wouldn't be. She's like it wouldn't be a good Super Bowl halftime performance because how she is.
Yeah, she feels like it should have a lot of energy and stuff like that. And she feels like she's not like one of those people that has like that type of energy.
I mean, she has a fantastic voice and all, but like you said, someone performing at a halftime show needs to have like a lot of energy and be doing a lot of stuff.
I also know a couple years ago, a lot of people that there was a possibility that Weird Al Yankovic could do a halftime show. It never happened. It never went through. But I know I don't know what the reasoning was, but I know Weird Al was approached a couple years ago.
That would have been great.
All right, Andrew, do you have anything you want to add about what we were saying, or?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Okay, and that's all your music topics, right, Andrew? All right. So before I let Double Nine go, because this is pretty much going to be Double Nine's section, because he has a lot of topics for music. So, but before I do that, I do want to say something in regards to the future podcast in terms of this section in particular. I've come up with an idea of something we should do for music, which is every week we'll do a top 10 of either a group or a singer. Just a top 10 songs from a particular singer or group. So how this is going to work is for next week and the week after, I'll be picking the band or the singer that we'll be doing a top 10 of. And then after that 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks will be either Double Nine or Andrew, and they'll pick the two groups or two singers that we can do a top 10 of, and then so on and so on. So next week, we'll start doing that with the top 10 Queen songs. So Queen is one of the greatest bands of all time. We're going to be doing a top 10 songs from Queen, and that's going to be the hardest list because there are so many phenomenal Queen songs.
Yes.
Also, I'm going to let you guys know this right now because I didn't tell you guys this. For this particular list that we're going to be doing every week, no honorable mentions. Just say your top. That way we can have. That way no one knows what's going to be on your list. So it'll be a complete mystery for everyone.
Honestly, I could say this. I mean, out of all my favorite bands, that'd probably be maybe the Beatles is a very close second, but Queen is probably the hardest list that I can make because at least for like AC/DC and Aerosmith, I know which songs I love and which songs I kind of like. With Queen, and I'll say the Beatles too, I love a lot of their songs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just looking at all the songs from Queen, you're like, oh my God, this is way more than 10 that I love. Like,
yes, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of songs that are not going to be on my list. I'm going to be pissed about, too. I'm like, man, I really like that song on my list. So, so next week will be Queen, and the week after, I want to do Michael Jackson, like a top 10 Michael Jackson song.
That will be great.
Which is also going to be another hard one.
That's going to be another hard one, too. So, so yeah, that's going to be in terms of music what we're going to be doing every week, just to make it exciting. And, I think it'll be fun, too, because I feel like that way, when we do a band or a singer, we can probably discover new songs and be like, oh, shit, I like that song. So, like, you can download it on your Spotify or whatever you use. So, all right. So, with that being said, Double Nine, this is pretty much your section today. So, you take the floor.
I have 6 music topics. I'm going to try. I'm not going to go, of course, speed through fast, but I'm going to try and, not take up the whole time with them. But I have 2 album reviews, and I have 4 just regular topics. So, I guess I'll do the album reviews first. And the first one is going to be a review for Weezer's Pacific Daydream. This is the new Weezer album that was released last week now. Yeah, probably about a week ago now. And, Weezer is a band I love very much. They're a great alternative rock band. They were really the band that really proved that nerds can be rock stars, and it was great. Like, I love albums like the Blue Album, Pinkerton, the Green Album. They're all fantastic albums. But, the band has had some ups and downs over the years and stuff like that. But ever since Everything Will Be Alright in the End, which came out in 2014. It seems like the band has been getting back up there, which is great. And with this new album, because last year they literally released a new album. Like last year, it was the White Album, which was great. The White Album I thought was fantastic. So going into this one, I was very excited to see what the band could do. And I'll say this, it's a really solid album. Overall, I think the band did a very, very solid job with it. It is a really good album. It does have some nice production on it. I think the band does, everyone from the band does their job very well. Like, you know, Rivers Cuomo does a great job with his vocals on the album. Guitar work is really great, especially on Mexican Fender, which is the opening track to the album. I think that's where the guitars really shine on that album, especially is on that song. And that really starts off the album.
Have you heard the new album, Andrew?
No, I'm not. I mean, I like Weezer, but I'm not like a big fan of them. I don't know too many songs by them, but the songs I like by them, I like.
Yeah, I mean, I know only a few songs from Weezer, and they're actually really good. But I feel like I should listen to them more often.
Yeah, my dad really likes Weezer.
Because the songs I know from them are actually awesome. They're really good.
Yeah, my dad really likes Weezer.
All right, sorry about that, but yeah, and like some of the other songs I really like on the album too are Weekend Woman, QB Blitz, I think that's what that other one's called. That one is like a kind of a nice little acoustic kind of upbeat type of song, stuff like that. But El Macho Screwjob is probably my favorite song on the album. That song is really great. Like, I love the tone that they're going for with that song and stuff like that. It's really good. I really do like this album a lot. I think the band put a nice, solid effort into it. Like, it is really good. Like, it's not one of the best albums or anything, but it is an album I do see myself coming back to here and there. So overall, I think on a rating, I would give it probably like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, so that's a good score.
Yeah, really good album. Liked it a lot. How I do it with album reviews, like a 0 obviously is, you know, terrible. 0.5, you know, that's, you know, still terrible. Like 1, it's bad. 1.5, not good. Like 2, 2.5, that can either mean okay or decent. 3 means a nice, solid album. It's good. 3.5 means really good. 4 means great. 4.5 means fantastic. And of course, 5 out of 5 is, you know, the holy matrimony. So yeah, that's how I do things with those ratings.
Well, here's the thing with me and Weezer. To be honest, I know only a couple of their songs, and I really like them. But I really feel like I should listen to more of their stuff because the songs I like from them are really good. They're really solid. So
yes,
I definitely
you definitely should.
I know you did a video recently, right, of the top 10 Weezer songs on your channel.
Yes, I did that on Universe of the Blue Tubers. I did my top 10 favorite Weezer songs in anticipation for this album. So maybe if you watch that video, maybe you might find some songs you've never heard before and whatever, and maybe you might enjoy those. Yeah, definitely check out that.
I'll tell you just a couple. I like Say It Ain't So is a great one, I think. And
yes, that's
one of the greatest music videos I've ever seen, Pork and Beans.
Oh, the Pork and Beans video is great.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good song, too. That's a really good song as well. And there's a couple more. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do want to listen to more of their music. You know, I know a lot of people have rankings of the albums, and they all say, like, most of the albums are fantastic. So
yeah, the Blue Album to me, which is like their debut album, that's very rare when like the band's first album is like literally their best album they've ever made. But for a Weezer's sake, that's like the best album to me they've ever done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So in the chat, Danny Russman says, for honorable mentions, I have an idea. You should do what Watch Mojo does and reveal your honorable mentions right before your number 1. You know what? That is a good idea, but I don't think I'm going to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because for bands like Queen or singers like Michael Jackson, if I were to do honorable mentions, we'll be here for like 20 minutes.
Yes.
So like, it's a good idea, but I think I'd rather still stick with just doing a top 10, and still, like, it still keeps the mystery because if I do that before number 1, you can easily guess what number 1 is, you know. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna do that. Sammy says I need to listen to more Weezer. I agree, Sammy. So do I. And MC Deadpool says, first time I heard of Pork and Beans was in the Yes Man trailer. Oh, I saw that movie. That's with Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that movie was funny from what I remember. Okay. So, 99, what is your next music topic?
My next one is my second and final review for an album, and that is for an album that actually came out back in June of this year. Okay. I never listened to it, but like a lot of people told me it was great, but then when I heard one of the songs on like a playlist, I was like, okay, I gotta check out the rest of this album finally. And that is Royal Blood. How did we get so dark? Royal Blood, okay. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them, but they are a hard rock, kind of like almost garage-like type of rock duo. It's only two guys. It's a drummer and a bass player. That's it. They do the drums, the bass. One dude does the drums, and the other dude does the vocals and the bass. And it's really great. This album is probably my second favorite album of this year. Like, this was just fantastic to listen to. This is like hard garage rock at its finest. Like, because I love garage bands like the White Stripes. It's probably my favorite garage band of all time. So if you like bands like the White Stripes meets Queens of the Stone Age, then you'll probably get a good kick out of this album because it is so like heavy. It's great. Like the bass, like they make the bass sound like a guitar. You know, kind of like how Lemmy from Motorhead would make his bass sound like a guitar.
Yeah,
that's kind of like with this. Like the bass sounds like very much like a guitar, and it's nice and heavy. Like I love it so much. It sounds so great, and I just love that tone that they bring to it. It's like in your face, kind of like it kind of almost beats the crap out of you. That's kind of like the feeling. That's the best way I can describe it, and it's fantastic. Some of the main standout songs to me. Probably my three main standout songs are I Only Lie When I Love You, She's Creeping, and Hook, Line, and Sinker. Those are like the three main standouts out of any of the songs on the album to me. Like, I Only Lie When I Love You. This again sounds so weird, but it kind of makes you feel sexy, the song. I know that's like a weird thing to say, but it's kind of like one of those songs. Like one of those songs you would like hear in like a strip club scene in like a movie. That's like one of those type of songs. And it's great. It has like a nice little bass line to it. Also has some cowbell put into it. Christopher Walken would be proud. So yeah. Also, She's Creeping is definitely probably my ultimate favorite song. If I had to pick like one favorite song from the album, She's Creeping is definitely the one I love the most. Like it has a nice tone to it, like a nice little kind of mystery, almost bluesy type of feel to it. And it's great. Like it really is fantastic. And also I keep on saying hooker. Hook, Line, and Sinker is great. Like it just starts off heavy, like with that bass line and stuff. It's great. I really loved it a lot. So yeah, overall, if you just want a hard sounding kind of garage rock type, if you like stuff like I said, like the White Stripes or Queens of the Stone Age, this is like the thing for you. You should definitely check this out and give it a listen. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a big old 5 out of 5. It's that great. I loved it that much.
So I'm sorry, what's the name of the band again?
Royal Blood.
I've never. You've heard of that, Andrew? Never even heard of it.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, they've only recently gotten this is only their second album, so
I'll give them a listen. I'll give them a listen. Are there music on Spotify?
Yes, it is. It's on Spotify. Okay. The album is on Spotify. It's called How Did We Get So Dark? That's the name of the album.
Okay.
It's really great.
I'll give it a listen.
And literally, there's like not a single song that I don't think is like not good. Like every song I think is either good or like fantastic on that record. And it's only the second album. It's only the second album to get 5 out of 5 for me this year. Still, Queens of Stone Age's Villains is still my #1 favorite, but like this is like a close second. I had such a blast listening to this.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'll definitely give him a listen, see what I think of him. And okay. And you have more. I know you have more topics.
Yes, so. I have more topics, but that was the end of the second topic. Now the third one, you're actually gonna be joining with me on this one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're gonna be joining each other on this one. But so a little band. I'm pretty sure no one's ever heard of them. They're called Muse. You know, they're from the UK. You know, it's not like they've had so many hits and so many albums. And
Diego hates them.
Yeah, Diego hates them.
I hate them so much that I saw them in concert twice. That's how much I hate them.
Exactly.
You wanted to what is it? Just spread the word at the concert on how bad they were.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the reason we're talking about Muse here is because ever since I think at the beginning of last month, I could be wrong, they have been in the studio. They have been back in the studio, you know, recording some stuff. It started off with a picture of Matthew Bellamy, it was a picture of him holding a guitar like, let's do it. And now we don't know if this is like a new album. Now I'm predicting it is a new album because I know the format with Muse. They try to release an album every 3 years because with it started with Absolution. They waited 3 years, 2003 to 2006. That's when Black Holes and Revelations came out. 2006 to 2009. 2009. That's when The Resistance came out. You get the kind of the drift. It was like every 3 years a new album would come out. So that's what I am thinking. Since 2018 will be 3 years since Drones came out. That's probably we're going to get a new album. Yeah, we just got a new song from them. Well, not a new song, but we got a song from them earlier this year called Dig Down, which I wasn't too huge on. Definitely is probably the weakest single they put out to me. I mean, it's not a bad song, but it just wasn't my style. But I am excited for whatever they've got next. I can't wait to see what they have in the back because, Muse, what I like about them is they try to mix things up a bit. They don't try to do the same things over and over again. They try to mix it up a bit, and I love that about the band, and I can't wait to see what this new direction will be for this album. I'm guessing that because that's probably what they are recording for, and I'm very excited. What about you, Diego?
Oh, I'm hyped as hell. Muse is one of my favorite bands. Like I said, I saw them twice in concert, and both times I was just blown away. My father and I just absolutely loved it, and we raved about it to everyone we knew, like saying you just got to see Muse in concert because it's an experience. Honestly, it's seeing the band play live and the light show and all that kind of stuff is unlike anything you'll ever see. It's phenomenal. And each album, what I like about that, all great albums, I think, and they're very different from each other. I know the album, the second Law. I remember that came out my junior year of high school, and not many people were into it because they said they kind of reminded them of a lot of dubstep and all that kind of stuff, which, I mean, I kind of disagree. I love the album. And the first time I saw them in concert, they performed that album, and I thought it was really excellent. So, like you said, the picture of the lead singer,
Matthew Bellamy.
Yeah, thank you. He posted that picture, and I really do think it means that he's going to be releasing a new album. I'm almost positive it does. And whatever, the songs are going to be, all that kind of stuff, I'm hyped as hell. I'm going to absolutely download that on Spotify and listen to it, like, right away. I know I am, because I'm a huge fan. And I think they're a phenomenal band. I love them so much. So the fact that they're going to make a new album, it looks like they're going to make a new album, makes me incredibly excited. So I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. So. Oh,
definitely. And, like you said with the Second Law, I think that's a very underrated album. That's like very that's like very high on like my favorite albums by them. That was such a unique album for them, honestly, that I love the styles that they played around with in that album. It was great. So yeah, I can't wait. I love the band a lot, obviously. They are fantastic, and obviously with not just with that picture that we were talking about, they've just been releasing pictures of them in the studio all on their social media and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see what they have next. And if it does come out next year, I am very excited, and it definitely will probably be my most anticipated album of next year if it does release.
Yeah. Dude, without question, it will be like my most anticipated album of next year. I mean,
easily.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, and MC Deadpool says I was introduced to Muse with the Watchmen trailer with the song "Take a Bow." That's a great song.
Yes, that's a fantastic opening track to Black Holes and Revelations. I love that song.
I'll actually tell you what introduced me to Muse. It was, I believe, Guitar Hero 2 or 3 with Knights of Sidonia.
I was just about to say
that. It's 3.
It's 3. Okay. Yeah, that song is phenomenal. Dude, that has one of the best guitar solos ever. That's a great song.
I remember your dad playing that song on Guitar Hero 3 Knights of Sidonia. So I remember hearing that a little bit. But I never really caught with the band. I just remember hearing that song. But the first song I ever heard was Uprising, kind of like with other people. But the song that made me love but the song that made me love the band was Hysteria, which is my favorite by them.
Yeah. We should definitely do top 10 Muse songs at some point.
I think we should try and do that. If the new album does come out next year, we should try to do it before then. That would be great.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because, there's a lot of songs from them, too, that are, like...
Fantastic.
Some really underrated songs, too. Like, the song that I love that doesn't get enough recognition is Shrinking Universe. That's awesome...
That song is great. I feel like a song that doesn't get enough attention is Liquid State, which is like my second favorite song. That's off of the Second Law, and the bassist actually sings on that song. And it's great. Like, it has such an intense vibe to it.
Yeah, Shrinking Universe, I remember watching it during a 28 Weeks Later trailer, and it was perfect. Like, the way they incorporated it and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot they played that for that trailer.
That's also an underrated movie, too. That's a great sequel.
Yes.
But that's pretty much what I have to say about Muse. I can't wait.
Basically. Me too. Same here. So, yeah, that's my topic for that. Now, the next one is going to be quite no, actually, I have one more before I talk about that one. Speaking of bands with albums, this one finished recording their new album. That's 3 Days Grace.
Oh, okay. SmackDown versus Raw introduced the 3 Days Grace with the song "Run" and "Animal I Have Become."
Same here.
Is 3 Day Grace the song? Did they do? No, that's 3 Doors Down, right?
Wait, which one?
I'm Here Without You. That's 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, that's 3 Doors Down.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
Okay,
3 Days Grace did "I Hate Everything About You." They did Riot, 3 Days Grace. No.
Okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Animal What I've Become. Really good songs too.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I like Riot a lot.
Yeah, that's a great one.
3 Days Grace is definitely like you guys said, 2007 was my first ever introduction to them. I love the album 1X a lot. That's still my favorite album by them. I still listen to it here and there now and again, stuff like that. It's fantastic. And I love their other albums too. But I kind of have lost interest in the band ever since Adam Gonti, the original lead singer of the band, left the band actually. I kind of lost interest in them. And the album that they released without him, that was like back in like 2015. I didn't really enjoy it all that much, but of course I was like open-minded about it. I wasn't gonna let my judgment because the lead singer left. Like, if I did that, then I wouldn't love Blink-182's California because that has a new lead singer on it too. So, but it wasn't that good of an album. The vocalist didn't really fit all that well, and it just kind of came out as a meh album. But I am hopeful because they did say that they did finish recording their new album, and maybe a single is on the way. We don't know when, but I'm pretty sure a single will be on the way. I'm very interested in hearing it because I do want to, have faith in this band because I do enjoy them a lot. And I do want them to have success with their new lead singer. I really do. But I just hope they just put out a good album this time. You know what I mean? Just put out a nice, solid album, and hopefully it's just good. I just want it to be very good. So, yeah, whenever the single comes out, I'll definitely give it a listen and see if maybe the album could be really enjoyable.
Yeah, like you, I kind of lost interest as well after a certain point. But I'm going to be open-minded, and listen to the new album and see what it's like, because like I said, the songs I said before, Riot, Animal I Have Become, I Hate Everything About You, like awesome songs, songs that I listen to a lot. So Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'll keep an open mind just listening to it. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's all I got for that. Oh, Andrew, do you have anything to say about it?
No, not really.
Okay. Now, the next one is going to be a very interesting topic. Fox News, once again, has got themselves into a crapper. But this time with Radiohead fans. My next topic is Fox News versus Radiohead. If you have not heard what's been going on with this, so 2 weeks ago, they were talking about the possible inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for 2018, and Radiohead was on that list. And although I will admit I haven't listened to every single thing the band has done, I do want to try before they get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to try and try to listen to more of their stuff. But Radiohead is a very influential band in rock music. They really are. From stuff like OK Computer, Kid A, they are a very influential band. But here's what happens. But when Fox News was talking about them, one of the woman that was on there, I forgot her name. She was like, a lot of the men I dated, like that were like, kind of sad, deepened, or something like that. Somewhere along those lines were like Radiohead fans, like weird and stuff like that. They're basically kind of like calling Radiohead fans like weird and sad and depressed, kind of like that, because that's what kind of their music is. It's kind of like that in a way, from what I've heard. And yeah, it kind of sparked the plug with Radiohead fans, and they were not happy. So yeah, Fox News kind of got themselves into a hole, and then they got themselves into a hole even further when a couple weeks later, they said probably one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard in my life. The dude said, and he looked dead serious when he said this, that Radiohead is the poor man's Coldplay.
Oh my God! Like.
Okay, first off, listen, I love Coldplay, but here's the thing, though. Coldplay made stuff way after, like, Radiohead. Radiohead came way before them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, way before them. So...
Are they even considered, like, the same kind of rock, though?
Yeah, I guess you could say, yeah, kind of. I mean, I think Coldplay kind of took some inspiration from Radiohead. I think Chris Martin said that was one of their inspirations for making music and stuff like that. So I could see why they fall into a similar style. But saying that they're poor man's Coldplay, like, that's just that's stupid, because they've been making music way before them. Like, what the heck? And they were just looked like a bunch of dummies when they said that. Like, everyone just looked at them like they had 3 heads or some crap.
Well, yeah, because Fox News is retarded and biased and evil. So it doesn't surprise me that someone from Fox News said that.
It doesn't surprise me either, but I had to talk about it because it's like a big thing. This was like a big thing that started a whole spark and like recently, because my God, then again, these people were, the people that said, Green Day is idiots for, speaking their minds about, certain things. They're saying they're too old to act like this, but whatever. So, yeah, but, like, it's a whole stupid situation. I just find it the dumbest thing that they said that. That was, like, one of the dumbest things I think I've heard anybody say.
Yeah, so basically Fox News did this to themselves.
Exactly. You guys did this to yourselves. Now, I don't know if anybody from Radiohead has any comment about this whatsoever, but I know Coldplay on their Twitter, like, made it like kind of like a joke about it, saying like, oh, well, finally someone said it in like a joking matter, which I found was pretty funny. So that was pretty funny. So yeah, that was my topic on that, Fox News versus Radiohead. Now, the last music topic I want to get into is a segment that I want to try and do every once in a while here on this podcast. And that is there any hope for? This can be for a certain band or a certain artist that really hasn't been doing all the best as of late. But is there really any hope for them? Can they come back from this? And the first one for this particular segment is going to be on a little band called Maroon 5. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know who Maroon 5 is. I'm pretty sure Diego, Andrew, I think you guys know who Maroon 5 is.
Oh, yeah. No, I know Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 is a pop rock group from the 2000s. They were known as, I think, Ramona's Flowers. I think that was their original band name at first, but then they changed it to Maroon 5. They released songs about Jane, which I think is still a great album, still probably the best album they've ever released. Then I did enjoy It Won't Be Soon Before Long or something like that. That was a really good album. I even enjoyed Hands All Over, which was like their last good album. I even enjoyed that. There's like some good songs off of that. But once Overexposed and came out, it was just kind of like they were going more of a pop direction, kind of just like, oh, we just want a radio hit at this point. Kind of that just what it felt like with 5 as well. It was just with songs like Sugar and Animals. It's just...
No, you see...
I actually really like Sugar, to be honest, but Animals is all right.
Here's the thing, like Maroon 5 was a band I used to love. Like I think Adam Levine has I think he has a great singing voice. Honestly,
he's probably one of the best male singers around today.
Yeah, and like I said, their original songs were all awesome. Like their original albums, I used to really like them. Even in like 2014, when the movie Begin Again came out, he sang a song for that movie, and it was nominated for the Oscars, and that's a really great song. It's called Lost Stars. And now he does this kind of music where it's autotune and stuff, and I'm like, dude, you don't need autotune. Like, you have a great voice. Like, why the autotune? That's why songs like Animals or like those new songs, I'm like, dude, you're so much better than that. Come on.
Exactly, like Adam Levine with songs like, She Will Be Loved and, Sunday Morning. This dude knows how to, he has a great voice, but he lets autotune for some reason take it over and it just doesn't fit. Exactly. And we got a new album coming tonight, basically, called Red Pill Blues, which I'm being kind of hopeful for. I want this to be good because I want the band to release. Because like I said, I like this band. I know this band can make good material. But lately, it just feels like they're just kind of phoning it in and just kind of just making just stuff we want to make for the radio. But, I did enjoy the lead single off of this. The lead single off of this, What Lovers Do, is probably the best thing they've released in, like, years, I think. I think it's actually a great song. It's probably, like, the best thing the band's released in years. So I'm being very hopeful that this album will be good. But, I won't be surprised if it isn't good either. ARTV, a guy that I really love, he's my favorite music critic on YouTube. If you've never seen him, go watch his stuff. He's very knowledgeable on his music. He released his review for it today and wasn't too good on it. So, but, I, of course, go into it with, like, open mind, with my own take and stuff like that. But, like I don't know, man. I'm hoping. I'm just being very hopeful that this is at least good. I want there to be hope for this band, but if they just keep on doing this stuff, people are not going to listen to them, honestly. People are just going to fall back. Like, a lot of their fans from the original stuff is just going to be like, dude, you promised to us so many times that you're going to go back to your original style, and at this point, you're not giving what we want. So they're just going to just flat out and leave.
Exactly. So, in other words, Adam Levine, stop with the autotune and just sing, because you can do it. You've proven it. You can.
Exactly. Like, you've proven you can do it. Just come on, man. Just.
It not only is a great singer, but he's just like a great musician too, because he's a really good guitarist. And
yeah,
he actually because he does the voice, and I watch the voice sometimes. He says I'd call myself a guitarist before I call myself a singer.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. But like you said, he's a great musician. Like, he's very talented, so he does not need.
And he's good at I mean, a lot of his earlier stuff he wrote the songs for. So
yeah. That's why songs about Jane is really great. Like, he did a lot of the stuff on that album, and that still is like their best work to date. And it feels like they don't have that like touch that they had beforehand.
Like, one of my favorite songs by them is Harder to Breathe, and I know he wrote that song.
That's my favorite song by them, and I just wish they could do stuff more like that.
I'm not even sure my favorite song. Sunday Morning I really love.
Sunday Morning is a really good one.
Great one. Won't Go Home Without You. That's a great one.
That's a great one too.
Yeah, there's more.
I mean, I would say the last great song. I really enjoy "Moves Like Jagger."
Yeah, that one. I don't personally really enjoy that one, but I can see the appeal of it. But I just didn't enjoy all that much.
What about Payphone?
Payphone, I think, is really good too.
Yeah, I like Payphone. That was like probably one of the better tracks off of Overexposed. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Wiz Khalifa. I think he's actually pretty bad, but I mean, I really enjoy Wiz Khalifa in that song.
So yeah, that's just my little thing. I really hope there's some hope for this band, and I really do want them to have a good album and be successful. But it's like if they just keep on doing this same old shtick, it's not going to work out. So yeah, that's my thing on that. And next week, I actually have one for next week as well, surprisingly enough.
All right.
And that's going to be, is there any hope for Taylor Swift?
I can't wait for that.
So that is my next week. Like I said, I'm going to do this every once in a while, but like, since like there's been a big thing with her, I might as well do it again for next week. So next week, that's going to be next week's. Is there hope for it? It's going to be, is there any hope for Taylor Swift? That is next week's segment. So tune in for that.
And MC Deadpool says no.
No.
He answered the question already.
Oh man. All right. So
now we're on to television.
I just want to say that's my music topics. That's all I got. I went on for way too long. I apologize, but
hey. All right, so now we're on to television, where I actually do have a couple of topics. So I'll actually go first to this because I only have 3 topics, really, and most of them are reviews. And the last topic, me and Andrew can go over. I know Andrew's is going to be one of Andrew's topics as well. So with that being said, I'll start right away. The first topic I want to talk about is what is known as the most watched show on television, and that is The Walking Dead.
Also known as the most overrated show on television, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing, right? Before, I used to really like the show. Like, I used to love the show, actually. I used to be very excited for it every week. I used to really like it. But as time went on, I feel like the show went very downhill, and I'll tell you why. Each season is required to be 16 episodes. I don't think it has to be 16 episodes. A lot of the episodes feel like filler. And it's like a lot of the things that happen in the finale, you're like, you know what? This could have happened in like the middle of the show. You know, you have to waste so much time bullshitting your way through. And well, the main thing I want to talk about is there's only been 2 episodes so far of the new season. I have not seen the second episode yet because I've been so busy with school and stuff. But I want to talk about the first episode, the premiere. And I just want to say this real quick. This is what I wanted to bring up. And that is that this the season premiere of season 8 has dropped a lot of ratings. So hear this. Season 7 last year, okay, it had 20.8 million viewers. All right? And this year it had only 15 million. So it dropped a lot of ratings. Like a lot of audience members, you know, were not watching this season as opposed to like seasons before. And the ratings have been pretty low too. So I guess a lot of people are catching up on the fact that the show, I don't think it's bad, but it's frustrating because I know it could be better. You know, there's a lot of writing elements that could be fixed. A lot of the characters are becoming bland. And see, I kind of compare the show to Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones annihilates the hell out of Walking Dead. And that show has so many characters, but a lot of the characters are fantastic and they're well written, and they all have, like, you know, they all have their time to shine.
Yeah, and they all have compelling stories.
Yeah, and Walking Dead, I don't feel that way at all. A lot of the characters, you just want them to die. Like, you wouldn't care if they died or not. And it's a shame because, like I said, I used to really like the show, and I feel like now it's like, eh. And to be honest, the season 8 premiere, for a premiere, it was kind of weak. Like, you know, it could have been better for a premiere. So, I don't know. I think the show is okay. It's just frustrating because I know it could be better. The Walking Dead fan base, though, let me tell you, they suck. I mean, if you like the show, you love the show, that's fine. But I'm talking about the fanboys and fangirls who, like, attack you for saying that the show is not that good. Oh, like, I remember when I made a post on the Walking Dead Season 7 review, I said the show was very mediocre. Like other than Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, who is fantastic in the show, like he steals every scene. He steals every scene he's in. The show was pretty mediocre, and I had a lot of people who were like, "Oh, you just wanted action every 2 seconds, right?" I was like, "No, I just thought the writing was very weak, and I had a lot of problems with the season. It wasn't the fact that there wasn't a lot of action in it." So
exactly,
yeah.
It's just
you can go.
Compelling characters. That's all we want. Like,
yeah, or a great story too. You know, because essentially it's starting to feel like the same thing over and over again.
You know, I mean, I actually haven't watched the show since the middle of season 6 because I'm not going to spoil it if you plan on watching the show or you're not at season 6 yet. But one of my biggest problems with the show was that I felt like, I don't want to say that there weren't enough surprises, but I felt like all the characters that ended up dying, I just didn't care for them because they were either such a minor character or just they didn't care. So I said a lot of the bigger characters needed to die because then it would make me care about just death happening on the show. I just didn't care if somebody died on the show. I just didn't. I thought there were way too many characters, and I thought that one of the biggest problems is that you can't. They tried focusing on so many characters, which brings back to one of Diego's biggest problems is that it made you care less. There wasn't enough time to develop the characters, which is why I think, personally, I didn't care about the characters. So there was, in season 6, there was something that happened where a big character died.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, finally, they're doing what I wanted them to do. And it turned out that it was fake. They faked it. And that really pissed me off. And ever since then, I haven't watched the show because, honestly, the first 3 seasons I think are great. As much flack as season 2 gets, I think season 2 is a pretty strong season.
Yeah.
At least compared to the other ones. Season 3 is my personal favorite.
Yeah, and it was really good.
And, I just, for those who know me, there was a certain character in season 3 that I love. He's actually was my favorite character when I was watching the show, and I was really sad to see him go.
Yeah.
And then season 4 happened, and I was really excited for it. But season 4 was just very boring, and
it dragged,
and I felt it led to nothing. And then season 5 was fine. And I actually remember Diego asked me because he wasn't caught up and I was, and he goes, "Do I need to watch episodes?" I'm like, "Nah, you can skip the next 3."
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the show has followed this formula where the first episode's awesome, then the next ones are mediocre, then the mid-season finale is really good, and then when it comes back, it's bland, and then the finale's okay.
But honestly, I haven't seen an episode since I would say the middle of season 6.
Yeah.
And honestly, maybe eventually one day I'll finish it, but I don't plan on watching it anytime soon because I just got fed up with the disappointment. I was very disappointed with the show.
The highlight of the show right now is Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah. He's awesome as Negan. I'm sorry, I just wanted to make a comment from my brother. He said something really funny. He said, highlight of last season was Rick and Michonne eating mac and cheese on their sextation. Dude, I'm not even joking. That's what happens. There's a whole episode of Rick and Michonne. They're just chilling, eating chili mac and cheese, and that's the episode. It's just them two, focusing on them two doing whatever.
Another thing about the fan base, real quick, is because I sort of watched The Talking Dead after, and Chris Hardwick mentioned that there are so many characters that are unkillable that the fans would get mad at if they died. And my thing is that who cares? Because I hate how people are like, Rick is unkillable, and so is Carl, and so is Michonne, and so is Daryl, and so is this person and that person. They can't be killed because if they get killed, I'm stopping watching the show. Listen, my favorite character got killed off pretty early in the series. And I still watch the show 3 seasons later.
My favorite character in Game of Thrones got killed off in the first season. I'm still watching it.
Yeah. Exactly. Like honestly, I feel like the writers for Walking Dead are just so scared because they're afraid to lose viewership that a certain character got killed off.
Yeah, or it could. I mean, I really don't think they would lose that much viewership, though. I mean, like I said, it's the most watched show on television. You know what I mean? So, like,
yeah.
Honestly, I think
the could be better. The show could be a lot better.
Honestly, I love Daryl up until the whole if Daryl dies we riot until he got so popular.
The annoying.
He just got boring. I found him boring. I mean, a lot of the characters I loved, I just found them boring.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we'll see how this season goes. Something tells me that it's going to be the same, which is unfortunate. So, like I said, I want to reiterate, I don't think it's an awful show, but it could be so much better. It has the potential to be better.
Yeah, it could be better.
Is there any knowledge on how long this is going to go for, or the show? Or
I have no idea if they're planning on ending it anytime soon. I mean,
probably not, but I was just curious.
Yeah, probably not. But I mean, even the greatest shows, look, some of my favorite shows, like Breaking Bad, that ended. 5 seasons and it's finished.
Yeah. That was 5 seasons and done.
I honestly, with Breaking Bad, I wouldn't want, as much as I love the show, I wouldn't want another moment because I thought it was perfect length.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even the greatest shows should end at some point. Like Game of Thrones, the season coming up, that's going to be the last season. Other shows like The Wire, The Sopranos, phenomenal shows, and they have endings. At some point, they're going to have to end. Walking Dead, all needed to be going off 20 seasons.
Yes, same thing with The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons, but they jumped the shark way too much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got to say about Walking Dead. That's one topic. I'm sorry, Double Nine. What?
No, I don't have much to say about either. Just mostly what you guys said. It's just kind of the same old shtick and whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so my brother asked, what will end first, the Fast and Furious franchise or The Walking Dead?
Jeez, just both need to end at this point.
Especially, they both need to end, honestly. I think that obviously they're just making more for money. So, all right, so that's what I got to say about Walking Dead. The next one is going to be a very short topic. I don't have much to say about it, but I'll just bring it up anyway. I do watch a show every week called Designated Survivor. Now, for those of you who don't know what that show is, it's a show on the channel ABC, and it stars Kiefer Sutherland of 24, and he's been in a lot of movies like A Few Good Men. He was the bully in Stand By Me. A very famous actor. He's the main character in that show, and basically it's about, in the first season, there's this really bad terrorist attack on the White House and other places. And basically everyone dies, including the president and everyone else besides Kiefer Sutherland's character. And that forces him to be the designated survivor. So since he survives the attack, he's automatically chosen to be president. So the first season, I like it. It's not great, but I was entertained by it. It's a fun season. It's fast-paced. It's entertaining. So season 2 is out. I believe the 5th or 6th episode. It's already 5 or 6 episodes in. And honestly, it's okay. I think the first season's better, but this season is just the first couple episodes I feel dragged a lot. And there's this new character who's the comedy relief, but he's kind of the Jar Jar Binks of the show. Kind of the character you want to go away and stuff. I mean, the show's. I know my dad really likes the show, and he's mainly the reason why I watch it. It's not bad, but like Walking Dead, I feel it could be a lot better. So that's what I got to say. Season 2 so far is not as good as season 1 for me. But it's would I recommend it to you guys? I mean, maybe, but to be honest, there's a lot more better shows out there. So that's what I got to pretty much say about Designated Survivor 2. Not much to say, honestly, because the show is just okay. All right, so all right, hold on. MC Deadpool. I know Kal Penn, Kumar. Yes, Kal Penn is in the show. The guy who plays Kumar from Harold and Kumar. He's also in the show. Oh, Danny Russman says Fast and Furious will end at the 10th film in 2021. Well, they should have ended it with Furious 7, to be honest, but whatever. All right, so the last one I want to talk about is Andrew is going to be joining me on this. Now, I promise no spoilers for this. No spoilers. And people in the live chat, please, no spoilers. Not everyone has seen Stranger Things Season 2. If someone deliberately put spoilers on the live chat on purpose. You're going to be booted off the live stream. I'm telling you that right now. So just you have been warned. All right. So me and Andrew will be talking about Stranger Things Season 2. I've been very excited for this season because I love the first season. The first season was one of my favorite shows of last year. It was like an 80s show that was a tribute to like a lot of the 80s films, and the cast were fantastic. It was an 8-episode show, and it was hilarious. You know, it had its dramatic moments. It was action-packed. It was exciting. It's like one of those shows that even though it's science fiction, it has so many genres within the show. So
yeah.
When I heard Season 2 was announced, I was like, hell yeah, this season's going to be great. And I got to tell you, I love Season 2. Season 2 was awesome. Now, without any spoilers, I will say that they did a great job of continuing the story. The first season, what it's about, without saying any spoilers, is that a little boy goes missing in a town where apparently nothing ever happens, and no one knows what happened. So this investigation starts going on, and it pretty much affects the friends that are trying to look for the boy. It affects the sheriff, the boy's mother, and it's really awesome. It's a science fiction show, and you get to meet these characters. Season 2 kind of deals with the aftermath of what goes on Season 1, as well as some other things that happens. All I can say is that the acting in this show is fantastic. The standout for me is the boy who plays Will. Now, Will is a character in the first season who goes missing, and everyone tries to figure out what happens to him and whatnot. He's given a lot more to do in Season 2, and I think he is phenomenal. He deserves an Emmy for his performance. That's how good he is. And my favorite character of the show is 11. And even I would tell you that in this season, I think Will is better than her. That's how fantastic he is. But not to say that not everyone else is great, too. You know, everyone else does a tremendous job. The actor who plays Sam in Lord of the Rings, Sean
Austin. Oh, he's in
Sean Austin is in this season, and he's a great character. I liked him a lot in this season. And yeah, the show is only 9 episodes long, but now if you're gonna ask me, Season 2, is it better than Season 1? It's on par, which is saying a lot because I think they're just fucking awesome seasons. So like Season 1 and Season 2 are like neck and neck for me. I'm not sure which one I like more, but I cannot wait for Season 3. I think Season 2 is an excellent season. And if you have not seen Stranger Things, like not even from the first season, watch it. It's great. It's pretty addicting too. Like you can probably finish the first season in like 2 days or even 1 day if you wanted to.
Yeah, no, I finished both in like 2 days.
Yeah, I mean they're really, really good. So what do you got to say, Andrew, about Season 2?
No, I love it. I think I love it a tad bit more than Season 1. But I agree with pretty much everything you said. Personally, I mean, as great as Will was, I mean, everybody was great. I love Topper in particular this season. David Harbour does a fantastic job in both seasons. And I also thought the kid who plays Mike also does a fantastic job because you could just see how the events of Season 1 affected him. And you could tell they affected him a lot.
Yeah.
And I like the new characters in the show, and you know the old characters continued to be just as great. When I saw Season 1, it instantly became not only one of my favorite shows of that year, it became one of my favorite shows of all time. Right up there with, and I don't watch too much television, but it's right up there with Breaking Bad for me. It really is. And I was instantly excited for Season 2, and it did not disappoint. It further cemented why I love the show and how it further cemented it becoming one of my favorite shows of all time. Out of both seasons, I could say there's not a single bad episode. Even the 11-centric episode, which I thought was generally the weakest in this season.
Yeah.
I still thought that was pretty great. And in the beginning of the season, there were a couple things that, I don't want to say were explained, but there were a couple things where I had questions about. And I go, if they don't explain this, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. And they explained it, and I wasn't disappointed with why they were like that. And I just love the ending because it's so. I'll say that it's just a happy ending, but then something happens at the very, very end. We're like, God, no! You just want them to be happy and be okay, and it's all to be over. As much as I love the show, I don't want, because I care and love about the characters so much, I don't want anything bad to happen to them.
Yeah.
And I guess the last scene, it's a very nice scene because just watch the show and find out. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Danny Russman says 15.8 million people watched season 2 in its first weekend. That's insane.
Yeah, and honestly, it's very deserving of a lot of Emmys. And Winona Ryder is great. I know she gets a lot of flack for her performance, but I mean,
what she does, I don't know why.
Well, in season 1, she a lot of people said they thought she was overacting.
I disagree. 100%.
Yeah, I disagree with that too because put yourself in her shoes.
She was great. I thought she was great in the first season. I don't know what everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, put yourself in her shoes, and that's how you would act.
Yeah.
You know, be in her situation where your son goes missing, but you know that he's there. You know that there's a way to find him, but nobody's believing you. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But I give this both seasons. I would give a perfect 10 out of 10.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, they're really good.
I hope they keep it up. I'm extremely excited for season 3.
Oh yeah, me too. Can't wait. All right, so that concludes my topics for TV. You want to go next, Andrew, since you went first?
Yeah, sure. There's only a couple other shows I want to talk about, in particular Arrow and Flash and Riverdale, the CW shows. I'll start off with Arrow.
I can join you on this because I.
All right, yeah, awesome. Arrow is the show I really, really enjoy. Its first season was good. Its second season was. The third and fourth ones were still. They were fine, but compared to the other seasons, they were major disappointments. Season 5 was really, really good. I thought it was the best one since season 2. Reminded me why I loved Arrow and how good of a show Arrow could be. With that being said, I thought the season premiere was very, very weak because season 5 ends on a huge, huge cliffhanger. And leading up to the season premiere, I was wondering what was going to be the aftermath of all this, and I thought that just wasn't big enough, and that majorly disappointed me. I thought it's kind of back to the Walking Dead thing. Something big happened. Like I felt like they didn't take enough risk with the season premiere, which majorly disappointed me. I believe it's on its 4th episode coming up today, actually. It might be airing today. But the second and third ones were fine. I really like the ending of of episode 2, and episode 3 is probably the best episode so far. And overall, I mean, it's still a long way to go. There's 23 episodes in each season. And there's still a long way to go. And honestly, with season 5, it did take a little bit for me to get really, really invested into the story and me to really love the season. But it's been a minor disappointment. It's still, I still think it has the potential to be a good season. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about Arrow for now.
What do you got to say about it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed episode 3. I've been enjoying this season so far. I actually have been really enjoying it a lot. You know, although I am mixed about a certain thing that's happening right now, but I won't say obviously because of spoilers and stuff like that. But you know, I like that the approach that they're going with it so far. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the season's really good, and I can't wait to see more of it. So yeah.
All right. Okay. I get the next show. If I'm assuming you're gonna join me on this one too, 99. Flash.
The Flash.
Same thing. I think Flash season 1 was great. I think it's not on par with Arrow season 2 because I compare both of these shows because they're in the same universe. They are alongside of each other, and they do have crossover episodes. But season 1, Flash season 1 is like for me just below Arrow season 2. It's great. And a big reason why I loved both seasons with the villains. I think the villains were great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in each season that I thought was really good, it had a great villain. And Flash season 1 was no exception. It had a great villain. Flash season 2 was a bit of a disappointment. For me, it still wasn't bad. I still think it was pretty good. But it kind of started this trend between between season 3 and season 2, where they had a masked bad guy and they reveal it at kind of towards the end. And the big problem with that was I thought it was a little bit too predictable both times.
Literally both times.
Yeah, literally both times. Halfway through the season, I go, it's this person. And they make it kind of obvious, and it kind of takes away from who the bad guy was. I'm not saying they're bad guys, but still, I still think that if they did a little bit better job of keeping it a surprise, or even not have it wait until the end, because it's this long build up to who it is, and it's kind of a disappointment. Like with Arrow season 5, they actually had a masked bad guy, but they kind of revealed it towards the middle of the season.
Yeah.
And I thought that worked out real well. So season 3 was and the problem. Okay, season 2 ends again. Like Arrow season 5, like a big cliffhanger, and I think how it what ended up happening was a big disappointment. And same thing with the finale of season 3. Something big happens, and in the season 4 premiere, they kind of resolve it right away. And I thought that was a big disappointment. With that being said, I do think that the Flash premiere was stronger than the Arrow premiere. I do think as of right now, Flash has been the stronger show between the two. And I personally am more excited to see where Flash goes because of the bad guy. Because the bad guy, in the first 3 previous seasons of the Flash, all 3 main big baddies were speedsters. This one isn't a speedster, so I'm really intrigued to see how it plays out. And Arrow season 4, I really don't think they, unless I'm completely oblivious, I don't think they have shown the big bad yet, which is interesting. I mean, it's only the first 3 episodes, so it's whatever. That's all I gotta say about the Flash.
All right, you have anything else to say about it, Double Nine?
Yeah, it's just been kind of, I really enjoyed the first episode a lot, but it's just kind of been okay as of late. Like, after that, it's just been like, but hopefully the rest of the season is better.
Okay. All right, so you have any more topics, Andrew?
Yeah, the last show I want to discuss is, again, probably one of my favorite shows, on television, probably my favorite one to watch on a week-to-week basis, and that's Riverdale.
Oh, okay.
And also on the CW. And I'm going to go not too much in depth about season 1. If you want my full thoughts on season 1, I did a review back on my channel. And but basically what it's about the Archie comics. And I tell people this right off the bat. I did not read the Archie comics growing up. other than what I've seen on Riverdale, I don't know anything about the characters. If they're not like that on the comics, I don't know. What I know about Archie and the just the Archie, I guess, universe is what I've seen on Riverdale. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I thought the first season was great, other than a few minor characters, which I really didn't like. I thought the show was great. I think in like Stranger Things, there hasn't been a bad episode. Even in season 2, I've been thoroughly enjoyed each episode. And what happens in season 1 is that there's a boy gets killed, and they got to figure out who it is. It's a mystery. It's pretty much a crime drama. What it is.
I've heard nothing but great things about this show.
Yeah, and what I'll say about season 2, and I think the 3 episodes that I've seen have been great, but I'm a little bit worried because this will be a longer season than season 1, so I'm afraid that they will drag things out a little bit. But so far, it hasn't been the case. And I will say this, even the characters that I really didn't like, and for the most part, the adult characters are the ones that I really didn't enjoy, other than one, I would say, that I still really don't like. I'm enjoying the adult characters for the most part. But the big thing is the kids or the high schoolers, or just the main group of guys. I think KJ Apa, who plays Archie, does a fantastic job. He really embodies what Archie's all about, and he does a fantastic job portraying Archie. And I think another standout is actually Cole Sprouse, where when I first saw the show, he looked so weird with black hair. So I was so used to seeing him with blonde hair. And I think he does a fantastic job. But my favorite character, which I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen him much as of late. But like I said, it's a longer season. There's still a lot of the season to go. So I'm assuming we're going to see him a lot more, especially since he got promoted to a series regular, is Skeet Ulrich actually plays one of the characters in the show, F.P. Jones, which is Jughead's father. And I think he's a standout in the whole show. I think by far F.P. Jones is the best character, and by far Skeet Ulrich gives the best performance. I would go as far as saying Skeet Ulrich deserves an Emmy nomination for this. And then again, I don't watch every single television show. It's not like, movies where I've seen a lot and I go, all right, at least I could say, this person deserved it over this. I say that, I'll say this, it's an Emmy-worthy performance. Okay. I think it's a very good performance. Because I like the hard thing with me for television shows, I can't say, oh, this show didn't deserve it, because more often than not, I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, so with TV shows, they're so time-consuming because there's so many episodes to watch.
Like with The Handmaid's Tale, I can't say that it didn't deserve the Emmy over Stranger Things because I had not seen The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Would I have loved to see Stranger Things win? Yes, but I mean, I can't say. And I do. I'm hopeful that he does get an Emmy nomination. Do I think he will? Probably not. But I do think he gives a great performance, and it is worthy of an Emmy nomination. On a week-to-week basis, and keep in mind, I really haven't seen much of Game of Thrones, so I'm not counting Game of Thrones. And I'm not including any of the Netflix shows. I'm talking about strictly a show where I watch week to week and whatnot. I think this is the best show on television right now. Out of the ones I've seen. And like I said, I don't watch that much television. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I would love to watch more television, but, they are pretty time-consuming. So it's kind of hard to watch movies and TV shows simultaneously.
Honestly, because I mentioned a couple times on the other podcast, but a goal of mine is I want to finally see 100 movies in 1 year. And honestly, that's taken up a lot of my time. And I'm so like driven to watch 100 movies because it's just something I want to do. And once I hit 100 movies and the year is over, whatever happens first, I'm probably going to watch a lot more television shows. Like, I'm probably going to start over with Game of Thrones and watch all of that. I'm probably going to watch House of Cards, all those Netflix shows I'm going to watch. And I'm just going to catch up on a lot of television that I have missed.
Yeah, same. There's a lot of shows I need to watch, too.
I'm thinking about rewatching Breaking Bad because I haven't seen it in so long. I'm rethinking about watching The Office.
The greatest show ever made.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm rethinking about watching The Office because I love The Office.
The greatest comedy show ever made.
And I want to start watching more television. So.
Those are all
By the way,
TV.
Creed is God. Creed from The Office is God.
He's saying what? Creed from The Office is God. I love Creed, but my personal favorite is always has been and always will be Michael Scott.
Yes,
and I will say this: once his character left the show, it did get less interesting.
I still gotta watch The Office at some point.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, Sammy says I would love to watch Breaking Bad, House of Cards, and Game of Thrones, but it's definitely very time consuming, and I have a lot with movies and my music. Yeah, I feel you, man. Like I'm the same way. Same way.
And that's all I got for TV.
And U99, you just want to talk about Arrow and Flash, right?
Yeah, those were the only shows I want to talk about.
All right, so that concludes our topic for television. Now we're on to the last topic of the night, and that is movies.
We tried to meet the deadline for 10 o'clock, and we're still on the last topic.
Yeah, it's fine. So I actually do have quite a few topics for this one. One of the big topics I want to talk about is something that's unfortunate. It's involving Blade Runner 2049. Now, Blade Runner 2049 is, for me, one of the best movies of 2017. I've seen it twice in the theater. I loved it more the second time. I love this movie, and it really pains me to say that so far, box office-wise, it's not doing very good at all. In fact, it came out in China recently, and it's been a flop in that country as well. So I'm on Box Office Mojo right now, okay? So basically, the budget of this movie is $150 million. And you guys know, in order for it to be considered a success, it's got to make double the budget. So in other words, worldwide, it has to be $300 million worldwide. And right now, it's at $224 million.
Which sucks.
Which means it needs about 80, hold on, 30, 40. No, I'm sorry, $76 million more dollars in order for it to pass that. And I don't think it's going to, unfortunately. And it sucks because this is yet another movie this year that has received praise from critics and audience alike. That is a box office bomb. Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to talk about, and now you both have seen the film. Now, why do you guys think this is a box office bomb? Now, I've heard rumors that it could be because of the 2-hour and 45-minute runtime. I don't know about that because look at Transformers. All of them are near 3 hours, and look how much money they make at the box office.
And I'll say this about runtime. I mean, I don't know about other people, but for at least me, runtime doesn't turn me off because some of my favorite movies are, some of my favorite movies are over 2 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I don't care. And as long as the pacing is good, and the pacing for Blade Runner was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the first movie, while it is hailed as one of the greatest science fiction movies ever, at the time, it wasn't well received, and it had poor box office results as well. So could that have an influence too?
I think so. I think it's a mix between just having not enough interest and just people not wanting to see it because if the first one was a flop and didn't receive that much praise, Like honestly, when I went, there weren't that many people in the theater, which kind of disappointed me because I loved the movie. And I just didn't think it just garnered enough interest, which is a shame. I think the main reason I was excited for it was because of who the director was and who the stars were, and because I loved the first one. And I feel like if you didn't really like the first one, you had no idea who, Denis Villeneuve or, Ryan Gosling are, or you just never seen the first one, you have no reason to see it, to be honest.
True. I don't. Well, that's just one topic I want to talk about. It's unfortunate, and MC Deadpool, exactly. That's why I hate the mainstream movie audience. Like they'd rather see the Emoji Movie or 50 Shades Darker, movies that are financial successes and have made way more money than Blade Runner 2049. I'll give you another movie, The Boss Baby. That made more money too.
It
sucks.
Yeah. And Despicable Me 3 made over $1 billion. So.
Oh God. Well, I haven't seen that, but still.
Despicable Me 3 is meh.
Meh.
Okay, but did it deserve $1 billion worldwide?
It deserved nothing. I don't know. I mean, no, it didn't deserve $1 billion.
Obviously, we know why it got the $1 billion worldwide, because the fucking Minions, people love them so much, and now
the Minions can fucking eat my fucking asshole.
Yeah, now they're getting us. Now we're getting Minions 2 and Boss Baby 2 the same year.
2.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, so
that's the year I become an alcoholic.
That concludes that topic for Blade Runner. My next one is one I'm pretty excited for. This is for a new DC movie coming out, and that is a solo movie on Deathstroke. Now,
oh boy.
Now, I'll be honest. I don't know much about this character because initially I confused this guy with Deadshot. I realized they're different characters, so I was like, oh, okay. But I know he's a villain from Batman. They're making a solo movie, but a big reason why I'm bringing this up is because they have a director they're very interested in, and I'm really excited. This director is Gareth Evans. For those of you who don't know who that is, he's the guy who directed The Raid and The Raid 2. So if he does a DC EU film, I'll be very excited. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think the character would be awesome.
Hyped to the extent, okay, the fact that Gareth Evans, right? Gareth Evans is doing that could possibly be doing a Deathstroke movie. Imagine the fight scenes.
Dude,
imagine the fight scenes. Seriously,
I agree.
And Deathstroke's a very kind of assassin ninja type of guy.
He's very hand-to-hand combat based.
So the fact that if they got Gareth Evans to direct it would be amazing.
Oh yeah,
I would be so down for it.
I'll be honest, it'd probably be one of my most anticipated movies of whatever year it comes out.
Yeah,
same here.
And I was already excited for it because, let's say he wasn't directing it. Someone else is directing it. I'm still excited for it because I love the character of Deathstroke. I think he's just so badass. He's one of my favorite villains in not only Batman, but just in comics in general.
Yeah.
But you get the director of The Raid and The Raid 2. Both great movies. And, makes me instantly more excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I have to say. All I hope is that I know there's been so many problems with DCEU in terms of like the production, all that kind of stuff. So if they do get Gareth Evans, just let him do what he wants. Give him the creative freedom. Don't tell him what to do because the guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
No.
The director is a director for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so that's pretty much concludes that topic for me. If it happens, I'll be so excited. All right, so and my last two topics are movie reviews. One of them being of a classic movie, and the other being of a movie that came out this year. So I'll start with the movie that came out this year, the Emoji Movie.
Oh God!
Oh fuck this movie! I hated this movie so much. Now, I'll be honest. This is my least anticipated film of the year. All right, was I looking forward to this movie? Absolutely hell no. But you know what? I saw the movie, and I'm going to review it objectively as I can. Because I didn't hate the movie because I wanted to hate it. I hated the movie because, honestly, it's fucking horrible. It's an hour and 26 minutes, and the pacing was so sluggish. It felt like I was watching a 3-hour film. And not only that, I'd never seen a movie so half-assed in my life. It really felt like a 2-hour product placement film. Like each scene was just, oh, here's how Facebook works. Here's how Instagram works. Here's how this app works. And the Just Dance sequence is one of the most retarded things I ever seen in my life. George Michael is rolling in his grave. How dare you use a song from George Michael in that scene? No. And here's the thing. Every character in this movie sucked ass, especially the new characters. The high five character.
Oh, boy, yes, he did.
He was awful. He was not funny. I wanted him to die. And the other character, she's not in it that much, but the time she was in it, I wanted to shoot my brains out. And that was Smiley, the villain.
Oh, God.
Yo, she was one of the worst villains I've ever seen. He was obnoxious. I could not stand her. And the jokes fall so flat. Like, they're bottom of the barrel humor. I'm sorry. I know there are people who think the Boss Baby is worse. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
No. This honestly makes the Boss Baby look like Toy Story.
The Boss Baby was bad. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like there's more effort in that movie than this. Even the animation, like, okay, when it came to like the Textropolis, like the animation was like straight to DVD, but when it came to the humans, it was garbage. I could not believe how bad it was. When it came to like Alex sending the text to, and that's the thing too. The story is so stupid. I couldn't. God damn it! And the fact that
God damn it!
It made like $200 million worldwide. People wanted to see this movie. For God's sake, I mean, I can't even describe. And Patrick Stewart, why?
Poop.
Oh my God! Thankfully, he's not in it that much. But even then, it's like, what are you doing? The jokes are so. This movie makes. Like, I'm gonna quote Christian Harloff. I mean, he doesn't have a 0% anymore, but what he said in his review, he's like, the Emoji Movie has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's generous. Exactly. Like, it's so awful, and I can't even. And here's the thing: a lot of people defend the character Jailbreak, saying she's the only good character. But here's the thing, though: like, okay, she didn't annoy me, or like she wasn't like the idiot. But the problem with her that I had was, one, she was cliched. You know, she's one of those characters that is like awkward, but you know, she's actually cool and really smart. And two, she's a ripoff of the female character in the Lego Movie. She's exactly. Like a bad version of that. So I can't even.
And also Penelope from freaking Wreck-It Ralph.
That's the thing too. This movie is so lazy. It blatantly rips off Wreck-It Ralph, written Inside Out, and like a movie, Lego Movie. It doesn't even try to hide the fact that it does. It just rips them off so blatantly. I'm like, wow. And the fact that Sony was going to make the Popeye movie and made this instead, that's a big slap to the face to everyone looking forward to the Popeye movie. Because there's test footage of that on YouTube of the Popeye movie, and it looked just like the cartoon, but just in an animated form. It looked so good. And it was going to be like from the director of people who made
Hotel Transylvania
and like Cartoon Network shows. So it had potential to be good, but they decided to make this instead. My God, this is a 0 out of 10. Anyone who likes this movie, I'm sorry, I don't get it. Not at all. And like Tevye says, it's a big fuck you. I agree. It is a big fuck you. Danny Husband says, the Emoji Movie makes Minions look like Inside Out. Honestly, yeah. The Emoji product placement, rip-off 101 disaster, like Sammy says. Dude, this movie is trash. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, for real, though. Like,
it's so god. Expect to see this.
It's a slap in the face for movie fans like us. It really is.
Oh yeah, I mean, expect to see that very high in my worst of the year list. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so my last movie review is a classic. Now I saw this movie for the first time today. The first time today, I saw this.
Oh, it took you long enough, you asshole.
You know what? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. We need to go back to the future.
Yep. The movie I saw was Back to the Future. This movie is phenomenal. I loved every minute of it. From scene 1 to the end credits, I was so entertained. This is one of the most entertaining films I've ever seen. Like, the pacing is just fire, and it's awesome. And the characters are great. It's so funny, and there's just so many great scenes in it. And the concept is so, especially at the time, I can imagine, it's so unique. I just love the story of it all. how he goes back in time and how he sees his father, back in the day, and how the mother is like in love with Marty McFly. It's funny and it's really great to see. I mean, so many people talk about this movie saying it's like one of the greatest movies ever made. I can totally see why. I mean, what else can I say that hasn't been said over the many years? If you ask me in terms of Robert Zemeckis films, here's what I'll say. This is my favorite Robert Zemeckis film, but in terms of what's his best film, I would say Forrest Gump. I think that's better than Back to the Future, but Back to the Future has more rewatchability and it's more entertaining.
I think this is my favorite. I honestly do think this is his best movie, to be honest with you.
I mean, they're both so different, but they're really great in their own
both
way.
A+, may I tell you, both A+ masterpieces.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I think my favorite scene, or one of my favorite scenes, is when Marty McFly plays his song at the
That's
dance.
my favorite scene in the whole
Johnny
movie.
be good.
Yeah. That's that song was nominated, right, for best song?
Oh no, Power of Love was.
Power of Love. Okay. All right.
Which should have won, but it didn't.
Well, and the movie wasn't even nominated for Best Picture.
Which it should have been.
I actually got a record of the soundtrack for Back to the Future, and it's great.
Yeah. Sammy says, "Well, it's about damn time, Diego." Well, you know what, guys? It's better late than never.
Exactly.
So I've seen the movie. Now, Andrew, you gotta be the Godfather now.
I know.
I gotta see Prisoners.
That was the agreement me and Diego made. If he saw Back to the Future, I will see The Godfather. So I guess the ball is now in my court.
All right, so that's what I got to say about Back to the Future. A 6 out of 5 for me. One of the best movies ever made, and that's been said so many times, but it's the truth. A great movie for sure. All right, so any of you guys can go first. Doesn't matter who.
It doesn't matter to me.
How many topics do you have, Andrew? I have 4, I believe.
I think I got 2.
You can go first.
All right, I just want to quickly review 2 movies that I saw on Netflix. I'll start with they both came out this year on Netflix. I'll start off with the one I liked. I didn't like as much, and that's The Babysitter.
I didn't see that.
And I'll say this. Well, what The Babysitter is about? This one guy, and he's a pretty big loser. He has a really awesome and hot babysitter, and he is convinced by his friend to stay up after he gets put into bed to see what the babysitter does. After the scene, invites people over, has a party and whatnot, and just something terrible happens, and just chaos ensues. And I'll say this. For the target audience that they're going for, which I would say are middle schoolers, high schoolers, people around there, love it. It was definitely, I'll say this, not that it was fun. I definitely wasn't bored throughout the movie, but it's a pretty stupid movie, a pretty stupid premise. I think the biggest problem is that I could not get behind the main character. I just thought he was lame and stupid, and I couldn't rally behind him like I probably should have.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I was necessary. It's not like one of those situations where that's rooting for the bad guys to win at the end, because I really didn't even care about those guys. I mean, the only character I remotely cared about was the babysitter, which it's probably a lot of it has to do with the fact that she's smoking hot. But yeah, that's a pretty well-known cast. Robbie Amell's in it, and so is Bella Thorne. And the Asian chick that beatboxes in Pitch Perfect movies, she's in it.
God's sake.
I mean, she's fine. I mean,
I can't stand it.
But overall, for who it's targeted towards, they're gonna like it a lot. It just wasn't for me. I give this, a 2 out of 5. It's not a good movie, but it's not one of the worst of the year. And the second movie that I want to review is The Merowitz Stories.
Oh.
The new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The only reason I saw this is because I heard of how that it was good, and I could say I enjoyed it. I don't think it's great. I think it's good. I liked it. I think this might be Adam Sandler's best performance. And I think again, with like the babysitter, I didn't really care for some of the characters, like Ben Stiller's character. I really didn't like him all that much. And Dustin Hoffman's character, I really didn't like him all that much. I mean, he did good for what he was given. But just personally, I just thought that it's not that his performance, it's just that I didn't think the character was written well enough. I just thought I was constantly annoyed by the character. But Adam Sandler is definitely the standout in the movie. He gives probably his best performance of his career. And but when I really did enjoy the parts where Adam Sandler were in. But other than that, I really didn't care for anything else when Adam Sandler wasn't around. I mean, Ben Stiller did fine. He did good. I liked him, but not as much as Sandler. I wanted to see more Adam Sandler. It just when he wasn't on screen, I didn't care as much. I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the movie, and I actually liked it a lot. I thought the acting was great, especially when you have people like Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, who usually do comedies, and then they do a drama, and you actually see, you're like, oh, wow, they're great in this movie. And this is definitely one of Adam Sandler's very best performances. He was terrific. Yeah. And Ben Stiller had one scene in particular. It involved, I'll just say, it involves him talking about his father, and then he gets emotional, and I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was good. I mean, Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler are definitely the standouts, but other than them, I didn't really care too much about anybody else.
Yeah, I like Dustin Hoffman, too. I mean, I get his character. Like, he is an asshole, but, like, I thought Dustin Hoffman played his character pretty well.
Yeah, his performance is really good, but, like, just for me, I didn't like how the character was written.
Well, I enjoyed the movie personally. I do think it's good. I would recommend it, especially, if you want to see a good Netflix movie. So I like the film. So
there were times where I was a little bit bored by it, but.
Yeah, pacing is one of the issues I have with it. Sometimes it can go on a little bit, but other than that, I like the film quite a bit. So. All right, you have anything else, Andrew, for movies or no?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I mean, I could review Happy Death Day, but I reviewed it on my channel, so if you want to know my thoughts on that, go see my channel.
Okay. And Double Nine?
I got 3 topics. I was going to do a movie review, but I already did this movie review. I did one for Blade Runner 2049. If you just want to know my quick thoughts, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it as much as most people did. But it's still a very good movie. Should not be bombing. I will say that. Should not be bombing. Should be making a lot more money than it should be. But it is an enjoyable movie. I did like it a lot. And I also can't understand why so many people absolutely love it. But I just didn't fall in love with it personally. But it is a very solid film. All right.
Okay.
So now the 3 topics I have. First one I'm going to talk about is Venom starting production.
Yeah, I want to talk this.
The Venom movie, starring, of course, our boy Tom Hardy, has officially started production, and now they are going to, I guess, start filming the movie and stuff like that. And I don't know how to feel. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to feel because I'm excited because it's Tom Hardy as Venom, and he's playing the character. It's R-rated, but Sony, man. It's Sony. Yeah. That's what the main problem is with this. It's Sony.
And not only that, I think, is it true that one of the writers is from the writers of 50 Shades of Grey?
I think so.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, the writer of Batman and Robin did write A Beautiful Mind, so anything is possible, people.
Okay, I'll say this in the defense, and not that I'm defending. I haven't seen a 50 Shades of Grey movie, but in their defense, it is based off of something, and they probably did the best they could given what they did. Not saying that. Then again, I haven't seen either movie, but from what I hear, yes, the script is shit, but I think we should give this person a chance before we write them off as a terrible writer.
No, we'll give him a chance. Just that given the movies that he's done, we're kind of a little skeptical. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, 9. I just personally just can't trust Sony at this point. I really, really want this to be good because I love Tom Hardy and I really like Venom and the whole symbiote aspect of Spider-Man. I love.
Yeah.
My favorite, only second to the Joker, my favorite Marvel villain and my second favorite villain of all time is Carnage, actually. And I know Carnage is going to be in this movie. I've been waiting a long, long time to see Carnage on screen. So I really want this to do good just because of those. I hope it's good. I think it could be good, but I just don't know if it will be.
Okay.
All right. But, yeah, like I said, I hope this movie is good. I want this movie to be good, obviously, because, Tom Hardy is playing Venom, which that is amazing. Like, that is, like, perfect casting. And that's going to be R-rated. And my brother actually made a good point when we were watching It. He actually made a good point about this. Remember when It was, like, showing its teeth and stuff like that? He told me that should be Venom. That should be, like, something like that Venom should have in the Venom movie. I'm like, yeah, that's how it should look, honestly. And I do want to have faith in this movie, but it's just kind of hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully it's good. Next topic I want to talk about is the casting of Shazam! Shazam, as you all know, is a DC superhero. He's getting his own movie. And he was finally cast. Finally. And that is Zachary Levi.
Oh, okay.
Or Zachary Levi, or you know who he is from all the DC movies from he was actually in the Thor movies and stuff like that. And what's that loud noise?
I mean, it might be an AC, but it's like really hot where we are, so
okay. But yeah, and I really like this casting personally. I think I do like him a lot as an actor. I think he is very good. So I am hoping he does pretty solid as the character. He is very funny, very witty, and that's what Shazam has to bring to the character. So I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Shazam character, but I'm hoping that his movie is good, and this is a good casting choice. So yeah, hopefully he is good. And also he was on Chuck, and he was Flint in Tangled as well. So yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully it's very good, and The Rock is of course playing Black Adam. So hopefully that's good too.
I'm intrigued with that.
Yeah. So yeah. Now, lastly, my last movie topic is going to be I made a whole rant about the video about this last year, that the fact that this was still happening.
Okay.
And I thought it was dead. I was like, finally, with the cast of Jason Momoa, I was just like, all right, but I was literally hearing nothing about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, it's finally dead. Yes. Then I hear news that it's still happening. The Crow remake.
Oh, no. I hate that they're making a remake of that.
Why? Okay, listen. I don't care what anybody says. The Crow is one of the greatest films ever made. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I love The Crow. It's just so badass.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic movie. Like, and Brandon Lee, in terms of superhero performances, he gives the best. Gives the best performance as a superhero I've ever seen in a film. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that was your number one for the superhero performance podcast.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And surprisingly enough, I was the only one that mentioned it. Maybe I was surprisingly the only one that mentioned it. I was actually quite surprised about that. But you know, he was great in the movie, and just the reason I don't like that they are what I was going to say, that the reason why I don't want them to remake this is, one, because of the movie itself, you know, because the movie is so great, and two, it's just kind of spitting in the face of Brandon Lee's legacy as well, because the dude literally died on set while making this movie.
Yeah.
The movie was kind of like, the movie for them was kind of like, okay, we're going to make the movie for him. We're going to finish it for him and his family. And, by the way, The Crow as a franchise is just cursed in general, honestly.
Yeah.
Because the sequels didn't do well. I mean, and there's been so much production and so much, like, trouble with this remake that I don't even know why they're still trying to, you know, remake this.
And no one's asking for it either.
No one's clamoring for a new Crow movie. Because you want to know why? Because everyone loves the original one.
The original one's awesome. Like, just watch that instead.
The original is my second favorite comic book film of all time. If The Dark Knight never existed, this would be, to me, the greatest comic book movie ever made. I love it that much.
I think The Dark Knight is the greatest movie ever made.
It is a great movie. But it's like, why is this happening? At this point, just stop. Just leave The Crow alone. It's one of those movies. It's literally like in my top 5 movies that should never be remade.
Yeah.
I feel like I love this movie more than most people do. Like, I know people just love it, but me, I'm like an obsessed freak with it. I'm not gonna lie, I am. I love this movie so much, and the fact that
why though, like, I can understand why. Like, you know, it's like I said, it's awesome.
But like, I just don't know why they're just remaking this. It's like, I don't even think it would be that successful at the box office, because really, is The Crow a box office, like, name, really? To be honest with you? The first one was the only movie that did well. And all the other ones, the sequel bombed at the box office, I believe, and the other two were straight-to-DVD movies.
I didn't even bother with the sequels, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, the first one.
The sequels are terrible. Never watch them. People even say Salvation's good. No, that's awful as well. Oh my God.
It's okay.
Wicked Prayer is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. That's the 4th one. That is freaking Edward Furlong as the Crow.
Man.
But seriously, this remake should just stop, and I just don't want it to be made. Just please stop. Stop. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. That's it. That's all for my topics.
All right, and that's a wrap on the MTVM Podcast episode 1. All right.
Woo!
So
I'd say that episode went well.
I want to thank you guys. Thank people in the live chat. The live chat's been actually pretty active today, which is, you know, pretty cool.
Yes.
And I got 2 new subscribers, which is awesome. And speaking of that, you know, if you want to see this show every Thursday, as well as my top 5s, subscribe to this channel. I put the link for these 2 gentlemen's channels on the description box below. So subscribe to Andrew Hayes, almost at 50.
Yeah.
And subscribe
subscribe
to Film Fan 0599, as he's kind of close to 500.
I'm getting there.
He's getting to 500. So support his channel. He makes very good content. And the next time I will see you guys will be on Monday, because we'll be doing the top 5 trilogies.
I will be there.
You will be there, and so will Nate. Nate will also be the guest as well.
The two dummies. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. So
I mean, me and Diego are pretty dumb, so.
True.
For what?
I said you and me are pretty dumb, so there's four dummies.
Well, yeah, like I said, thank you guys for the chat. Thank you guys for joining the first episode. Next Thursday will be episode 2. What I want to try to do is make the show 2 hours long. I mean, this was the first episode, so it's fine, like 2 hours, almost close to 2.5 hours. We'll try to make the podcast like at maximum 2 hours long though next time. You know, probably we'll have like just lesser topics for us, so like we can all get like 2 topics each. It'll be like 6 topics in total. So
yeah. Well, yeah, this was, we wanted to make this big since it was, you know, the first episode. So
yeah, make it special.
Make it special.
Yeah, so, and for those who missed it, you know, you can always watch the rerun on YouTube and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to their channel, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll be on Monday for the Trilogies podcast, and episode 2 of the MTVM podcast will be next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, until then, I'll see you guys later, and stay classy.
Goodbye.